What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down some of Jerry Rice's routes and Davante Adams' route running, okay? So arguably, Jerry Rice is probably the greatest route runner of all time, and then we look at one of the best route runners in the game today, Davante Adams. We're going to be talking about some of the similarities that they have and how you guys can translate that into your own game, and you see what some of the best guys at their crafts do, what they have in common, and that's how you could translate it into your own individual game, okay? So we're going to be looking at kind of a comeback route and then an out route here from Davante Adams. Then we're going to be looking at a post-out route, okay? And guys, if you're a receiver and you don't have a quarterback to throw to you 24/7 and you still want to get better hands, check out that very first link in the description. It says improve your hands without a quarterback, specific hands catching program to help you guys to improve your hands when you don't have anybody to throw you the ball. Hope to get you guys on that soon. Again, very first link in the description. Hope to get you guys on that. Let's get started. So first things first here is that you see how Jerry Rice is going to be running this comeback route. Now, he's going to be giving this little peek back technique, but we're mainly going to be focusing on the speed into the break and then the hips into the break, because that's the key similarity, and that's something that a lot of people don't understand when they're running routes, is that they have to be able to do the one thing that all great route runners do, is change direction on a dime, whether it's off of a single cut or whether it's dropping their hips and creating an explosion. So we watch this full speed. He gives this little peek back to sell vertical. He's able to snap this thing off, and he runs this comeback and accelerates out, right? So there's three phases to every route, right? You got the stem, you got the break point, and then you got the acceleration out of the break, right? So the stem, what do you think is the most important part of that? Most important part of the stem is selling fade, right? Selling vertical, making this DB believe fade. That's the entire goal that we have. That's the entire goal that we have on really kind of any route, honestly, right? Especially even on it, from a hitch to a slant, from a slant to a post, from a hitch to a comeback, whichever it is, we got to make the DB think vertical at a certain point. So Rice does a great job of staying in stride and keeping the same speed. There's two things that I teach my receivers that sells vertical. You got speed and body language, right? So if your body language, if your pad level's in a good position, he gives this little peek back to the quarterback like he's looking for the ball, selling fade, but you see when he peeks back, he doesn't lean his chest back, he doesn't pop up, he doesn't start chopping his strides down. That's the key. I want to make sure, and no matter what, I'm in a good body language position and my stride length stays the same. I'm pumping those arms and I have the same speed. Now, a lot of people think that, okay, now you get into a break, you got to slow yourself down, right? No, you want to create energy at the top, and you want to use that energy at the top to explode you out of the break. So what you do is you drop your hips violently. You want to be aggressive with your hips. And a lot of people, like Jerry Jeudy's another great example. Like, that guy's got great change of direction, right? Everybody loves to talk crap on that guy, but you can't deny that he's very, very good at changing direction. And you see how violent he is when he snaps his hips. Same with Davante Adams, who we're going to look at in a second. So you see when he gets up into this break here, how aggressive he is. And he's snapping his hips, he's getting his weight going forward, he's dropping his hips down, and he's creating that explosive position right here, because this explosive position is just one part of it, right? Well, it's actually the second part of it, because you're selling fade, you drop down, you decelerate, you snap down, you create that explosion, and now the whole goal is to win the race back to the ball, right? So when Rice snaps down right here, he snaps on that inside leg, second step pivots him, third step snaps him out, and now when he's able to create some space with this guy, he gets this D. And again, this is such a big gap in the NFL because the DBs are so freaking talented at this level. Now I got to make sure I accelerate out and go win the race back to that ball. The only way I win that race, especially on a comeback when it's a tight window to the throw, is selling vertical, getting this DB to commit his hips. I want to snap down. I want to cut down the time I have spent at the top of the break. I want to spend less time at the top of the break than the DB does. It's not about steps, dude. I could take a slow 3 steps and then the DB takes a quick 5 steps and he's going to beat me to the ball, right? Because it's all about selling vertical, change direction on a dime, create explosion, and accelerate out. That's what great route runners have in common. Let's watch this thing again, full speed one more time. Selling vertical, being violent with my hips. Let's make sure I accelerate out of this break. That's a great job here by Jerry Rice. Now we're going to be looking at this route here from Davante Adams. So when he comes off the line here, he's going to be doing a great job of selling vertical and drop those hips. Now this is going to be more like an out route, but it's the same principle. You see in stride, good body language, drops violently, right? Now he spends a little bit more time at the top of this thing than Jerry Rice did, but again, it's not about steps. It's about what? Selling vertical, keeping a good pad level, keeping the same speed, getting this DB to bail out of there, getting him to think vertical, right? Because you see how this DB is kind of in zone coverage, right? He's bailing out of there. He's turning and running with him. What do I have to do against zone? I got to close the distance and try to step on the DB's toes. That's the goal. I want to close, try to shorten this gap, then step on his toes and be violent, right? By stepping on his toes, I just mean closing the distance. So when he comes off the line here, you see great body language. He stays in stride, and then now what changes direction for him? It's his hips, right? He's He's violent with his hips. He gets his chin to his knee. He's dropping those hips aggressively, and he's taking a little bit extra steps at the top, right? Obviously, we could cut those down. But again, like I said, it's about cutting out time, not so much steps. But I think if you were to cut out maybe a couple steps here and still maintain the same speed, still maintain the same hips, he'd be able to get out of this thing a little bit faster. But again, he's creating energy, right? It's all about creating energy at the top and shooting out that like energy lane, if you will, from that creation at the top into that phase 3 of the route. And again, you see a lot of these guys, he's not beating the drum. He's dropping his hips. His hips are violent. Everybody that says beat the drums and they stand super tall. Like, that's why I can't stand those receiver coaches that set up like 84 cones and they just have guys go zigzag back and forth around and the cones are like 3 yards apart. How's that getting you better? That's not getting you any better. You're just working up a sweat and you're just breathing hard. How are you going to actually get better and have this route translate into a game? I'd rather have you just run full speed and then have somebody say drop and give a drop command. You got to drop your hips and you don't even worry about getting out of a break or getting around a cone. It works on your hip drop. It works on your explosion. It works on you creating energy at the top of the break to shoot you out of this route. So you see how, again, he's here. He's violent with those hips in an explosive position. Now, what's it about? It's about winning the race to the ball. DB's going to be speed turning right there because he knows he got beat. He got sold on the fade, so I got to speed turn. I got to try to recover to this thing, and he's got his head down. He's pumping those arms, and you see he's in oh shit mode trying to get back down to this ball, and you see how he's driving those arms. He's running full speed. He's in a good pad level. So when I come out of a break, I better be doing the damn near same thing, right? So I break down. You see how when he gets out of here, he's running those arms, and he's accelerating back to the ball. He's trying to win the race back to the ball. That's the key, fellas. We get separation with my stem. We get that DB to believe vertical, change direction on a dime. I create that energy, and then I accelerate and run out of this break to widen the distance, but also to win the race back to the ball. That's route running in a nutshell, but that's what these great route runners have in common. Those 3 phases, they're exceptional at all of those 3 phases. Guys like Julio Jones, Randy Moss, those 3 phases are the key. Marvin Harrison's another great example. 3 phases of the route is what will get you separation. You just got to make sure that we're tight on all 3 of those phases, and we got to work on all 3 of those phases in different parts. So many guys try to come out there and they just do all the fancy moves at the top, but they forget about the stem. They forget about the acceleration, and that's why they're not at that elite route running level. Let's watch this thing again, full speed one more time. So he's coming off here, full speed, great job selling vertical, drop those hips violently, creating energy, and accelerate out. Use your hip drop to shoot you out of the break. So now we're going to be looking at this kind of double move right here, this post out concept. So we look at that Jerry Rice one, and now we look at the Davante Adams one where he's taken 3 steps. Jerry Rice took 5 steps, which is really, it's just the same concept here. You see again. So now, again, what do we talk about? 3 phases, right? Stem, break point, acceleration. So when he's coming here and he's staying in this good stride, this DB's going to be backpedaling. He does not want to get beat over the top, especially when it's zone coverage, fellas, especially when it's maybe off man. This DB does not want to get beat over the top. That's his worst nightmare. So I got to make sure that I'm trying to threaten him with that. I break to this post. And you see when he breaks to this post, he shoots his eyes, shoots his shoulders, and he takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you see when he changes direction, what does he do? It's a violent drop with his hips, and he gets his chest down, right? He gets his chin to his knees, and he's sinking at those hips as well. It's not just about bending at your waist and your butt stays high. It's about dropping your hips and bringing your chin to your knee, getting in that explosive position, because this explosive position, we already talked about it, it creates energy and it shoots me out, right? But on a double move, you see, how did he sell this double move? He snapped his eyes, he committed his shoulders, hips, and he kept the same speed into there, right? That's what draws this DB in. And any double move, post corner, post out, corner post, out and up, you got to snap your eyes, but also you got to commit your hips and your shoulders, because your eyes aren't enough. Everybody thinks it's just eyes, but if your hips and shoulders are drifting upfield, if I'm a DB, I ain't believing that crap. I ain't gonna believe that you're running this post over the middle. So I got to commit all 3. But if my steps are choppy right here, I'm gonna kind of sit on this thing as a DB. I keep that same stride. I'm able to snap this thing off violently, and I create that energy. And now what do I got to do? Let's widen the gap. Let's win this race. And you see, even when he's got that separation, he's still pumping those arms and running. That's what makes Jerry Rice such a great route runner. Those 3 phases again, but also on a double move. We got to be good at double moves to be a great route runner. And it's all about salesmanship. How can I sell this thing? Eyes, pad level, shoulders, hips, and stay in stride. Let's watch this thing again full speed. Then we'll get to the Davante Adams route. Great job snapping it off by Jerry Rice and accelerating out of the break. So again, you see here, great speed into it, sudden stick, and you see how those arms are ripping him out of that break, right? And again, now let's talk about it. You see Davante Adams here. What is this? This is zone coverage, right? DB's opened up. His eyes are here on the quarterback. So we got to, he's going off a feel, right? He's not looking at us. So we got to make him feel post. How do I make him feel post? I close the distance with him, right? That comes from that phase 1. I got to make sure vertical. I'm in stride. I'm pumping those arms, and my pad level's good. And you see how sudden he is with that break. It's just such a sudden cut. That's the key right there. Being sudden with that break point, because that forces a reaction out of the DB. He wasn't expecting that quick of a change of direction. So now what do I got to do to sell this route? you see how he comes here. He snaps his eyes, commits his shoulders, commits his hips. He stays in stride. Now, he only takes 3 steps off this. So it's bam, 1, 2, 3, and he's here. And again, what does he do? Violent with those hips, second step, pivot, hook, and now where is it? We're forcing this speed turn out of here with this DB because he knows he got beat. He's in oh shit mode. I don't want to get beat back to this out route. I got to pump those arms and make sure I accelerate and widen the distance. Yeah, this DB slipped. I get it, obviously. But the goal is to win that race back to that ball. On any double move, it's all about salesmanship. And then after I get this DB to bite, I accelerate so I can widen the distance with him and extend the gap. Let's watch this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by Davante Adams working this post out. So he's coming off here. Hit this break. 1, 2, 3. Snap this thing off. Make sure I accelerate those arms and run out of this break. Great route. All right, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope this video gave you some value on just what great route runners do, how you guys can structure your routes to be similar to those great route runners, and just overall how these key points can improve your game overall. Okay, and guys, if you're a receiver and you want to get better hands, again, you don't have a quarterback to throw to you, check out that very first link in the description, guys. It will definitely help you out, help you be a better pass catcher when you don't have a quarterback to throw to you all the time. Hope to get you guys on that soon. If you have any questions at all, please leave those in the comments below. I'll see you guys next time.